All right, let's start out with head to toe alignment and posture. So we relate the rules that I'm about to give you to all exercises that we're going to do, whether they're conditioning based, plyometric, core exercises, or strength. So our bodies react to exercise in a favorable manner. We give our bodies additional load, whether it's volume, like more exercise or more repetitions, whether it's resistance in the form of additional weight, bands, body weight, whatever we're doing, or speed. So as we add those factors to our body, we need to adapt in a positive manner, not a negative. So if we have a foundation that's going to crumble under a load because we're in the wrong alignment or the wrong position, we're not going to get any better. We're actually going to get worse from training. So in order to move forward, we need to make sure that we start off on the right foot. So I'm going to show you guys a couple different rules to follow. We're going to make it pretty simple. That's why I'm standing here with my shoes off. So when you guys are doing any kind of body weight exercises where you're standing, I want you to take shoes off so we can feel the ground and we can get our feet in the right position. So our feet affect our knees and our knees affect our hips and so on. Okay, so I'm going to take you through a couple quick rules. All right, so if you have access to a mirror, I want you to play with this in front of a mirror just so you get some feedback without me being there to show you where you are. Okay, so when we line up on 2 feet, just good standing posture, we want to look at the insides of our feet. So from the ball of our foot to our heel should be a nice straight line. Once we get that set up, what we want to do is think about lifting the arches of our feet up a little bit, like we have a thumbtack under them. Okay, so if you guys see my feet, I've got a nice big gap underneath my arch there. All right, if any of you were standing in a flattened foot position, okay, you can see how that relates to knee position as well. So I want to make sure that I just lift up this inside ankle bone. All right, think about a string kind of hooking on here and running up the calf. And if you just pull that string up, you'll feel your arch lift and you'll be able to see it. So what we want to do is set our feet up in what we call a tripod. So we've got 3 points of contact, okay? I want to make sure you guys feel this. So we should have contact on the ball of our foot, just behind our big toe. We should have it on the outside of the foot, where you're probably going to feel a little more than normal when you lift your arch up. And then the third point of contact is the heel, okay? So for all just standing weight-bearing exercises, that's where we want our weight to be. Our toes are a little additional support and balance, but we shouldn't be gripping with them, okay? They should be relaxed and just resting on the ground. So once we get those arches lifted up, now your knees should be tracking in the right position. So if I do a squat or just a knee bend, and I bend my ankles, knees, and hips and come down like I'm sitting in a chair, you'll see that my knees are tracking right over my middle toe, right on the inside or middle of my foot. All right, if I go back to a flattened foot position and I do the same exact squat, you guys see where my knees are going, they're coming in together. Well, this is a really high risk movement pattern. And anything we do in training, we're going to automatically do on the field when we're moving at faster speeds. So we need to reinforce the right position, okay? So think of a line. So if you put red stickers on the middle toe, right, or just above it on your foot, you put them right on your kneecaps, and then you found your hip bones on the side as high as they go, and you trace them forward. As you continue to trace forward, you'll feel your hip bones kind of drop down in the front. Well, right where they drop, right at that edge, if you were to imagine that third red sticker on each leg, that should give you a straight line. So hip, knee, middle toe line is what we're looking for, okay? Now this is a strong position. I can bear weight here. I can absorb force if I land, right? And I'm not going to put myself in a high risk, maybe knee injury, maybe chronic shin splint position, okay? So we've got our straight line, middle toe, knee, hip. I want you guys to try that out in the mirror. Check it out yourself and make sure you fix wherever you have the tendency to go, okay? Moving up the chain. So we have those red dots here that are on the front of our hips, all right? Think of your hips as a bucket of water. We want to make sure we try to keep water in the bucket. So that's left to right, and it's also front to back, okay? So from left to right, if I'm on 2 feet and my knees are bent the same degree, it should be pretty easy to keep those red dots even. But what happens when I shift weight to one side? Right? And I know a lot of you stand like this. So if you lock one knee out and one's bent, now my hip bones aren't level, right? They're drifting to the side. I'm tilting on an angle. So we want to make sure we get set up on all of our exercises with soft knees at the same degree of bend, okay? Now these stickers make up the bottom of a rectangle. So if we put 2 more stickers on our shoulders, that creates the top. So we've got level shoulders, we've got level hips, and we've got even sides from basically armpits to hips, and that creates a rectangle or a box, okay? So that box is going to be stable, it's going to be strong, it's going to help me support load. So if I'm holding a dumbbell for a squat, right, or I'm holding a barbell eventually as you get older and we're doing a barbell squat, I can support load in that position, right? If I'm side bend or I'm leaning, I'm not going to be in a stable, strong position, and this is what my brain's going to remember when I'm outside playing sports, okay? So important to reinforce our 6-sided box and think about the side of this too, okay? So another rule is you check yourself from the side to make sure we're in good upright position. We line up our ears, our shoulders, our hips, and our ankles, and now I'm in a nice straight posture, okay? Now many of us are on our phones or at the computer most of the day right now. So if I'm sitting there and I'm in a slouched position and I'm looking at my screen this way, you guys can see that my upper back is rounded, my neck is hyperextended, and I'm looking straight forward here. This is a compromised position. We obviously are not athletic here. We're putting our back in a weakened position, okay? So to correct this, think string hooking on the back of the top of your head. If we pull that string straight up, you guys can see how my back got a lot taller, okay? So this is the position we're looking for before we start any exercise. So ears, shoulders, hips, ankles, all right? Practice that for a couple minutes. Check yourself out in the mirror both from the side and from the front. Go over your rules of hip, knee, middle toe. Go over your rules from the side, all right? And make sure we're stacked up the right way. Now we're ready to work. Now we're ready to load the body. And we're in a much stronger, safer position to do so, okay? We're gonna apply that to a ton of exercises moving forward. We're gonna start out pretty basic, and then we're gonna build. So it's critical that you guys get repetitions the right way. So the building is on top of that solid platform that we talked about, all right? Talk to you soon.